on YouTube.
No stroll off easy. 'Cause when it's time, gon' hear what she said. Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder?
Am I doing something?
All right, all right. What's up, guys? Welcome everybody back to another episode of Ced Connects. If you guys are listening to the TGN Latinx radio app or the Good News radio app, go ahead and check us out in the chat lines. If you guys are viewing us through the YouTube, make sure to go ahead and check us out in the chat lines.
Welcome, everyone.
We're running a little behind schedule here, guys, but we're rocking this out.
It's the rain.
It is,
you
the
know,
rain.
You give us a few droplets of rain, and that's it.
Rain dance finally kicked in.
You're a rain girl?
I am a rain girl. I love the rain.
I like it like I'm inside and you're out there.
Like watching it.
Yes. I don't like being in. I love 2 days post rain. That cleanse,
Clean, fresh
feeling,
air.
like-
Yep. Let me
like
breathe it all in.
the earth was baptized, like that, like
Ooh, that's a very good way of putting it. I never thought of it that way, but yes.
we good.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're going to do this again. Welcome back to another episode of Ced Connects, Cannabis Entrepreneurial Dialogues. This is Danny, your host, along with Julia here, and we're coming live from the TGN Latinx station. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Our mission is to create spaces for people and brands of color to elevate their stories, educate and empower our communities. How you doing, Julia?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm a little flustered
You're a
right
little
now.
flustered. Pull
Yeah.
yourself together.
I
Let me
know.
take the reins on this.
Please go ahead and
Yeah.
take over right
Yeah.
now.
Let's talk about our sponsors.
Yes, let's get
Let's
that.
start with Schmoke. Schmoke Apparel, a cannabis lifestyle brand that advocates for social equity. They have some of the dopest gear out there. Make sure to visit schmokeapparel.com. SHMOKE. That's right. That's right.
You guys are laughing at me because I don't know if anyone caught it, but the first time we shouted out smoke, I spelled smoke wrong.
Yep.
But if you guys catch it, let me know. Let us know in the chat lines.
Yeah, but Denny's wearing his Schmoke hat.
Yep.
That's one of the like main logos, but they have others. But this is one of the very popular one. They sell like a lot of tracksuits, or jumpsuits, like sweaters,
They got
hoodies,
the hoodies,
the
the
sweats.
t-shirts.
Very
They have a
nice.
bomber jacket. It's super
Ooh,
cute.
I've been
yeah.
looking for a
Yeah.
bomber jacket.
Yeah, check them out.
Will do.
They're around. And then our second sponsor is Can. Can is our newest sponsor. They're creating the future of drinking. They create low dosage drinks that provide a similar buzz without the hangover. You can find their brand at your local dispensary, and you can visit them at drinkcan.com. Now, let's see what we have today. Grapefruit rosemary. Indira, our guest for today, and I will introduce you, but you just took a little sippy sip. What are your thoughts?
It's delicious. Even the smell. It's just it's pleasant.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Love it.
I love the packaging. I feel like anytime I like look through all of these like cannabis, like brands and stuff, I'm like, a woman, there was a woman at the table here. There was, you know what I mean? There was like female innovation exists here. These are like microdose, like if for those of you that enjoy microdosing throughout the day, this one specifically has 2 milligrams of THC and 4 milligrams of CBD. So microdosing, if that's something that you do, this is something that you can have comfortably, I don't know, at work, at home, wherever, watching your kiddos, living
Can't
your life.
emphasize how wonderful it smells. Honestly, I've tried another one. I think it was jasmine.
Oh, the
And
lemonade,
the lemon.
yeah,
But this one, I was very pleasantly surprised with
this one
this.
smacks.
Yeah, with the smell. It was just
All
it's an
right.
experience for all the senses.
And then for those that have been following us on Instagram, if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure to follow us on at Ced_Connects. That's CED_Connects. We're gonna have a giveaway next week to kick off the new year.
I want to do the little
Oh,
sound.
go ahead, go ahead.
Which one is it though?
The yellow one. Right there. There you go. So we're gonna have a giveaway. We hooked up with originals, and so if you guys are viewing on YouTube, we have a originals rolling tray, and we have an originals grinder that we're gonna be giving away to a lucky listener, a lucky follower. We have. If you go ahead and follow us on that Instagram, we got some things you got to do. You have to follow us. You have to share the post, the original post that we have, and you're gonna have to comment, tag 3 people on the messages, and anyone that does that, we'll go ahead and enter you guys into the raffle, and then we'll be announcing the winners here next week with our guest
And
to
Danny,
kick
is
off
this
the New Year's.
is this the first of many giveaways?
I think this is the first of many.
All right.
We
Let's see.
got a lot of things coming up for the new year. We're gonna talk about that towards the end of the show, but we're definitely gonna kick off what we're doing next year, which is big plans. We got big plans.
New Year's resolutions coming.
We do have that.
All right.
2022.
That's it.
I got my production manager over here signaling me to do the hand claps and everything. So thank you for that, studio manager. We appreciate you for that.
That's right. I know we hopped on a little late, but thank you so much, Kike, for hopping on time and giving us a shout out.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, we love you, and we look forward to chatting with you as well.
Now I know who this Carlos is, because the last time
Yeah.
I was like, who the hell is Carlos? Thanks, Carlos. Thank you. Well, what up, Kike?
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
Man.
Today we have Indira Martinez Dubon.
That's right. That's me. Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
in all her glory.
In some, like maybe 85% of my
Of
glory,
her
I'm a little
glory.
under the weather.
Yes.
But yeah. No. But I will be giving y'all my 150%.
Thank you.
Nice.
We appreciate that.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right.
So what's up, Edina? How are you today?
I'm all right. Enjoying the weather, like we originally said. Just getting over the Christmas. I'm not a big Christmas fan. I'm
You're not?
sorry. No, I'm not. For those of you that are, I commend you all, and I think that's wonderful. But I'm a Halloween person,
Gotcha.
and so I can't wait to get over the year.
Right.
Yeah. How about you? How are you all doing?
I feel like this is the time of the year where we always put like all this like energy and expectation, like, oh, like I just said, New Year's resolution, blah blah. But then after having the year that we had, it's like, do we really want to do all that? Like, can we just like, tiptoe into
Yeah.
Let's just do
No.
no. You want
Not at
to do
all.
the
We got to get
resolutions,
in there, and we got to
take
make shit
charge
happen.
okay.
I see it.
Yeah,
I
make shit happen.
understand that because it just feels like it's been a long 2019.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think we're, I get it. I get how we should be tiptoeing into it, but I also feel like it's time for a turn of the page.
For sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. So let's talk about weed.
Yeah. Let's talk about let's.
So tell us about your
Let's.
upbringing, early childhood, where you from, And really, what was your relationship with cannabis? Like, where you're,
Yeah, I get you. So yeah, so grew up in LA, born and raised. Grew up in South Central, but I didn't get bussed. I got driven out to West LA for schooling. But came from a, I mean, I come from a very traditional Salvadoreño family. And, I feel that our people have been fed uh, some type of Kool Aid, to believe, well, and not just our people. I think a lot of people, most people, have been fed to believe cannabis to be this, you know, destroyer of life or something. When in it's in my opinion, it's something. It's completely the opposite. So yeah. So anyway, in our family, it's bundled up with every other drug. You know, unfortunately. But yeah, so my use came into play when I was in my teens. The age of 16 is probably when I first had my first inhale. I did inhale. I wasn't trying to, not inhale like past presidents. But yeah, so yeah, and it's funny because I was just discussing it with one of my peers, all the different ways I've ingested
What's the
cannabis.
craziest way?
I don't know if it's crazy, but I mean, it was definitely interesting, and it's a gas mask. I don't know
Okay.
if you've ever, yeah, and
Explain to our listeners
okay,
the gas mask. Go ahead.
so a gas mask is basically what you're given when you're about, like, if you're, I think, in the military or any type of um any type of like combat, and maybe there might be what would they call it, like chemical warfare,
Right.
correct? And so you wear this mask that basically covers your face, and it's a self oxygenating type of tool, and you wear it, strap it onto your head, it straps onto the back, and it's on pretty good. Like if you think the K95, or is it N95 mask, like, are sealing your face, these masks are sealing your head, your face, right? So anyway, I just remember it basically fills your whole mask. So think of it, you have this little bit of space between the mask, and so you inhale, or you know
Yeah.
and your whole mask fills up with smoke. So you kind of have to be careful and kind of temper it, because if you're not used to smoking, you can totally choke, and
Right.
on the
I
own
could
Yeah.
see
smoke.
that.
And I've seen people pull the mask off and, like, oh, do all that choke, all that coughing. So you have to kind of be easy on it. But yeah, that was one of the most interesting ones. Of course, the apples, gravity bongs, pipes, glow in the dark pipes. Like,
You've done it all.
well, I was I am a curious individual, and so if it was there, yeah, why not?
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geek in the chat line. It's wonderful to hear two of the female power hitters of the family. Feeling proud of you two in this very moment.
Aw,
Aw, thank
thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's right. You're right.
um, thank you, Kike. I don't know how to. I don't do well with compliments, I guess. And so all I know how to do is say thank you, thank you so much. Um, yeah, I appreciate the compliments. So yeah.
I think there's a lot of them in our family. It really runs in the family, but we are definitely two to be reckoned with. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely. But
And so I love that we're here, that we're together.
yes.
I don't know. I love it. Thank you for saying that. Next question. I know that obviously you self-medicated, right? You were
Yeah.
using cannabis to self-medicate. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, just like everyone else, I think that we start with it's a curiosity that we all may have, right? And, given perhaps, I don't know, in my situation is who I worked with. I had coworkers that dabbled in it and they were slightly older than me. And so they introduced me to it. And um, that's when I got started, as I said. And yeah, I think it eventually turned into a form of self-medicating. And the reason why I say that is because I wasn't diagnosed at the time with ADHD, but I came to find out at the age of 25. That's when I formally got diagnosed. But then it all made sense because for any of you that have ADHD, you probably are familiar with the way thoughts and conversations go in our head, and anything goes on in our head is just in and out, in and out. And you could possibly be talking about the rain, and then I don't know. Help me out, Julia. Where will we end up after that conversation about the rain?
Oh, the possibilities are endless. So I'm also ADHD, and tangents are our jam.
They
Like,
are.
how did I get here? How did this happen? Like, and how do I go back and say yes to your question about whether I'm hungry or not? Right?
Or wait, you're able to remember the question? Because I usually say, "Wait, what did you ask me?"
Right. Like, start
What
over
was I
again.
saying?
So
And listeners probably like, how the hell are they doing radio?
yeah,
Like,
because we have
what?
Danny. Danny is our anchor.
What?
Yes. He's the one that keeps us
Yes.
roll it back in, reel it back in.
So I feel like when we feel like we're the only ones in the room that are kind of spinning, cannabis has been one way that where it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
like,
it's-
and then everyone else is like in the space that's smoking with us. So it's like, okay, we're all gonna just
Yeah,
chill,
chill and
fuck
enjoy
out a
it
little bit.
at this pace because it's usually going like this, and then we're gonna follow up, and then where do we go? And and so it's usually the way it goes. But then I remember when it first hit me, and it was just like, oh, the world slowed down, and I'm okay with that. Like because like I was just always wound out and wound up, and like the teachers would complain about me. God bless all you teachers out there that dealt with me.
Yes, educators
I-
that deal with undiagnosed
Yeah.
children and like families that have like zero or very little concept of what like being differently abled looks like, feels like, and how to address that, right? Like,
Neurodivergence. Yes.
So-
where all of our brains don't work the same way,
ab
and that's okay.
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So it just kind of slowed things down for me, which is what I needed, I think. And so yeah, I went on like that for years. I mean, here I am, 42.
No
soon,
way.
Soon to be 40. Oh, why, thank you.
Right? That's another problem with people with ADHD. We look great forever.
We age slowly. Our
Early career choices.
early
what did they
career
look
choices. Oh my God. Let me see.
Yeah.
Ready? All right.
Let's go.
So I was good at drawing. I was always drawing uh, Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny, like all the Warner Brothers. I don't know if you remember
Like
when
Space
we were younger.
Jam, or with like the
Yes,
the baggy clothes,
yes.
and
You know exactly what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah, for
about.
sure.
That was the
Bumps
ish.
and tests.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
this, like dirty, like
Right.
giving you that. But yeah, so that was all the that was big when we were kids, and so
Yeah.
I would like spend my time, again, traditional family, so my parents were really strict. I'd go to school and back home, so I didn't have any extracurricular activities. So my extracurricular activities were reading and drawing. So I wanted, yeah, I know.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
but
I'm
Let me
kidding.
chime
Hey,
in.
so am I. But guess what? It's what turned this out, and I'm okay with who I am. So anyway, yeah. So I drew a lot, and I said I wanted to go into animation. I wanted to draw for Disney, but nope. Bloop. So that was that. I wanted to be a doctor. I think I still do. There are days where I still want to cut people open and fix them, so yes, I wanted to be a surgeon, dancer. I danced for a very long time, and I wanted
What
to.
kind of dance? Like, what
Yeah,
kind of
tubo,
dancer?
tubo,
Oh,
not
okay.
not that kind. Uh,
I don't know. The people want to know.
well, people, no, it wasn't that type. I did a lot of is what we call cultural dances, but I focused a lot in folclorico mexicano. I did that for a lot of years. um, Enjoyed it, and I miss it so much. But then, it's important to take ballet and jazz and all that other stuff to just get your foundation and your base, get a strong base, right? So I did that as well.
And you were
Um,
able to commit to that for a while, right?
well, yeah, that's what's so interesting is that, and then that's why we get a bad rep. And I'll just, kind of touch base on little things here and there, right? But
Yeah.
ADHD, it's so misunderstood. So, oh, you can't focus. If you've been called lazy and you got ADHD, welcome to the club. I think we're all called lazy, or we're told, oh, you have so
Really?
much, you have so much potential. Are you being sarcastic? I don't know.
No, because I would never. At least for me, I don't think I would associate ADHD with someone being lazy. Like in my mind, someone that has ADHD, they're always going, like you mentioned earlier.
Right.
So I don't see how always on the or feeling like always on the go and being lazy are the same.
Because, and that's a great
Great
question,
question. Yeah.
or a great example, but because when we're not interested in something, it's like trying to move, I don't know, like trying to get a car out of the mud. And, it's like, it's not happening, unless there's a lot of help and support, you know. But when we're interested in something and we love something, you can't drag us away from it. So that's
Okay,
and
got
s-
it.
and
That makes
so
sense.
in school, I don't want to hear about history. A bunch of, I mean, no offense, but it was just a bunch of old white men, had nothing to do with me. I mean, at least I felt that way at the time, right?
Right.
It wasn't history that I was interested in. I wasn't interested in reading Catcher in the Rye. I wasn't reading. I wasn't interested in reading all that stuff, and so my teachers were like, she's got a lot of potential, but she doesn't want to do the work, and so that's why you're labeled lazy. You
That
know?
makes sense.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
also, a lot of boys,
Mhm.
the way ADHD manifests itself in males or in boys is with that physicality. Like, oh, they're all over the place. They can't sit still. They can't sit in a room. And a lot of women, girls, when you see them having ADHD, it's like in their head, where they're just in their head wound up. So they could be sitting there, not
And just daydreaming.
Right.
It manifests in daydreaming. I do want to say that I have the combination though.
right.
Like I've heard, and now it'll probably you can. It's harder to detect, I guess, when you're older, because with maturity comes a certain type of slowing down, right? But as a kid, who's gonna slow you down? And then you got ADHD. I think I can count the times my dad didn't find me on top of the monkey bars or on top of the jungle gym, like doing all
All
sorts
these
of
things
stuff.
that you're saying, like
Mhm.
I that was me. I guess I have ADHD that I gotta go get checked out and
So,
see
so
because I
that's
was hanging on top. Like I was an artist too. I wanted to work for Disney. All those things that you mentioned,
yeah.
me.
Hey, you know what? And it is possible. I would recommend anybody. There's so many of us that fall through the cracks, and the more and more I learn about it, it's like, and I'm not trying to like pat myself on the back or anybody, but
Sure.
um if you're already above average, perhaps on certain things, intelligence, that there's different types of intelligence, right? But let's just say in school, right? You get not diagnosed, but you get labeled, you get tested and labeled gifted. That's a double-edged sword,
Mm.
because it's like, oh, why are you gifted? You can read at this grade level even though you're only at this grade level. You can comprehend this even though you're only this old. You can do this, you can do this, all this stuff, but you don't do it. You must be lazy. where it's I can't tell you why I can't do it aside from I'm not that interested in it. I'll get to it, but I'm not that interested
And
in
to
it.
hear that from a child, kind of like, what the fuck?
What do you mean? Life is full of things you're not interested in. Just do it, you know?
And that's big in like early ed too. When you have like we have a young child, right? A 2-year-old who, she was hitting milestones like crazy. She was just like pew, 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 surpassing it, right?
Yeah,
But then she has, some developmental things that are like totally on par and on point with her age and what her development actually is. So me, for example, I'll be like, Dali, come on, like in my mind, right? I'm like, you're smarter than that, or you can do that. Like we're past this, but we're not.
yep,
She's not. And just because she's hitting some things out of the park doesn't mean these things she's gonna be able to do.
correct.
So it definitely it's like great, you can do that. And that's something that we don't have to put a lot of energy into, but this is going to need a lot of time and energy.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think that just to bring it down to like a layman's maybe like term or
right,
something.
right. That's perfect because yeah, you're right. But maybe the language wasn't layman's term or whatever. But yeah, and you can't blame for anyone for doing that, right? Like
No,
you're like I look back and I said, well, why didn't my teachers catch it? Like they saw how instead they sat me in the corner or sat me right next to them, or had me turn to
they also
watch the
had
corner.
25 other children that they had to.
Exactly. No, and that's what I'm saying, and that's still the case,
Right.
and so
Absolutely.
I'm not blaming. I mean, they caught the gifted part, right? And I think you were as well, right, Prima? They caught that part, but with that said, is like, was that a gift or was that a hindrance? Because it wasn't until the age of 25 where I was just like, all right, I'm tired of going in and out of things and being like really gun ho and passionate about it. And then like a quarter into it, I'm like, oh, look at that shiny thing. That other new shiny thing.
So, and we kind of did that right now too, because I was gonna go back now to after dancing. Was there anything else?
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Welcome
where
to
we
That
were.
question, yeah.
Welcome to the ADHD world. See, we'll bring you in. Yeah, it was so when I started, yeah, so there was dance and then I switched it to psychology. And then I just said, I don't think school is for me.
Mm.
This doesn't work. I'm not good enough for it. I'm not meant for school. I can't remember this. I can't learn this. I'm much better working with my hands. I got employee of the year working because I'm such a good worker. I'm a hard worker. I like working with my body, right? And of course, that broke my traditional Salvadorian father's heart, probably my mom's as well too. But I remember that, and I remember the look on my dad's face, and I remember like his reaction to you know, your firstborn who happens to be a female and doesn't want to do school anymore. She wants to work with her body, like, and my dad's probably thinking, like, well, what about getting married and having grandchildren? How is she going to work with her body then? Right. And you don't think of that stuff. You don't have the forethought. You don't have the development at an early age to think about that stuff. And I didn't. I was like, oh, it'll be okay. You'll see. So yeah, so fast forward, I don't know, X amount of years, and now I'm 32 and pregnant, about to have.
No, what you did culinary school.
Oh yeah, see, I forget about stuff.
I'm like, let me remind you.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, which brings me on to other things. I even enlisted into the Air Force, guys. Like I
If y'all are looking for her, Miss AWOL.
no.
Wow.
There-
Wow. Damn.
you'd think family would look out for you, but instead they're the first ones to throw you
Wow.
under the bus.
Even I didn't
with-
say it. even I stayed quiet on that one.
Mommy,
daddy.
I got you.
Six. No. It's
Man,
okay.
I stepped in it.
Oh
Hey.
man. No, luckily. It was an official, what do you like, I officially declined it and officially told them like, no, I'm not. But for those of you that didn't know, I don't know if things have changed, but let me tell you what I went through. I did the test, as it's called, the ASVAB,
Sounds right.
right? Something like
Think
that.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I took that test and I took the physical. I think you have to go to something called MEPS or something. I can't remember. It was so long ago. This was right after I graduated high school. Swore in. I had my date for shipping out to boot camp. I had it all. It was all done. It was all said and done. I was going to be a mechanic, a jet mechanic, because I couldn't fly them because I'm blind as well. I don't have 20/20 vision unassisted. So anyway, if you guys don't want to do it after all that, don't be afraid. Communication is key, and you can always uh pull out and just say, no, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, if you think about it, would you rather have someone go into military who's supposed to fight for the country, right? Go into the military with doubts, or just be like, hey, you know what? Just kidding.
Right,
This ain't for me, dog.
right. It's a no for
It's
me.
a no for me, dog.
It's a no for me.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Yeah. And so yeah, I was able to do that. So yeah, military, culinary school. Culinary school was fun. I got to live in San Francisco for a while.
I love San Francisco. Although it's crazy out there.
In what way?
There's
Oh.
so much crime in San Francisco that it's insane.
In the last what? Because when I was
I want to
there-
say what 5, 10, 5 years maybe.
So yes,
Really?
you were there. We know what San Francisco we're talking about, where
Yeah.
you would just like,
Yes.
yo, let's road trip. We got an extra like 3 days off of it. You know what I mean? Off of school. Let's just hop in the car and like we'll figure it out. And you're
Yep.
just up there at the bay and just hanging out in
It's
some
just-
like chilly weather, finding a little like that like back road where like the military homes or whatever, and like
Oh,
just
yeah,
like
yeah. Where the chips
Yes.
are at. Yeah.
yes,
Where the chips are.
Yeah. That park. I forgot what it's called. but
yes, that
The
park,
Golden
and
Gate
then
Park or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
all of that it's not that world anymore. So we went recently, and our plan, we left early
Mhm.
because we're like, before we go check into the room, let's go check out, let's go walk around the pier, check out a few sites,
Do the tourist thing.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
go check into our hotel, and then keep going with our day.
And we had
right?
a truckload full of stuff because it's like 4 of
It's
us.
the family.
right.
We find parking, and you're gonna know exactly where we found parking. It's like right where all the like bike rental
Yes.
spots are.
Yes.
Okay, so we're like locking up, whatever, and the guy's like, "Yo,
You're not leaving,
you're
right?
not leaving your car here, are you?" And we're like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he's like, "Look around, like
Yeah.
It's desolate and like asking for
glass everywhere, like every other spot had glass on the floor." And we're like,
Oh.
"What?" He's like, "People get broken into for less than what you got packed in that car." He's like, "You need to go take that somewhere safe."
Yeah. And it's everywhere. Everywhere you go. No matter where, if there's cars that were parked there, you'll see glass on the ground.
Palace
Everywhere.
of Fine Arts. You see how like the
Yeah.
parking is there and you're there. Like you're
Yeah.
not gonna go
No.
deep into like some like space. Like there's traffic, there's people, like all over the
Yeah.
place. It's not like
Wow.
everywhere.
I
Yes.
haven't been there. I
Yeah,
haven't been there in
it's
so
wild.
long.
It's so wild over
Because
there.
it wasn't like that
It-
at
not at
all.
all.
Like San Francisco was a mood,
Yeah,
like it
big
was
time.
it was just a mood, and I can't believe, like, I don't know, it kind of
Yeah, we weren't leaving anything in the vehicle. Like we were just like, no, like
Mm-mm.
we can't
and,
risk
and we
it.
have friends out there too, and same our friends out there that we met up with, they
Yeah.
also like warned us like, yo, don't leave anything in the car, make sure everything is empty, don't leave anything as little as the cord, the charging cord,
Yeah. Because
don't
then they'll
leave
know you
that.
have a cell
Yeah, they're
phone.
like, don't even leave that.
Oh my God.
There
Yeah.
was a recent news article that came out where people are leaving their trunks open, like just coming, like
Just so you can see.
whatever.
Look,
There's nothing
guys.
in
Yeah.
here
Don't mess up my
Don't
trunk.
break my windows
Yeah.
because
because
it's
it's
so
too.
expensive to replace windows every
Absolutely.
other week.
Yeah.
Or people will leave like notes on their car. So it's not the world that you lived. Like
Yeah,
you're blessed that you got to go and experience
when you
it when you
did.
did,
Yeah.
because it's a very different world.
Wow. Wow. I'm kind of saddened by those news.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It
It
sucks
is.
because I
He
I was so
loves the Bay.
I was so excited to take the kids and like
Yeah.
really experience that.
Are you wait? But where does your love for the Bay Area come from? Aren't you like a SoCal? I'm just curious.
No, early when my family moved over, they moved into the Bay, and so I kind of just
Oh.
followed suit with like sports
Yeah,
teams
yeah, yeah. The
and all of
Niners.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Giants. All
Mm-hmm.
right, right on. I respect that. It's funny. Like I mentioned earlier, born and raised in LA, right? And I think LA gets such a bad rap, but we're good people. LA natives are good. Most of us are good, down to earth people. I want to say, but
It's all the like the people that come here trying to like follow their dreams, chase their whatever's.
yeah, no judgment.
Heavy judgment. I did serving and catering. A lot of judgment.
No judgment on my end. Yes. Sorry. I'm just kidding. No, maybe I'm not. No, you know what? LA like sports fans, I can't stand. I can't stand LA sports fans.
Oh,
Camera can't see it. See, got the mic doing the work for me. It's the mic's work.
oh man.
No, I hear you. Y'all still got the Oakland Raiders in your neighborhood, though.
They're in Vegas. Sorry.
Oh, they're in Vegas. See, you see how I keep up
Yeah.
with sports. I'm really not a sports fan, y'all.
I'm a big sports guy.
Um, but either way, I just wanted to say, yeah, San Francisco is a mood. I'm sorry that it's no longer that. But it is what it is. We'll roll with the punches. I'm sure we'll find another city.
I mean, it's still great. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Still-
it's
there's
still,
Weather's still amazing.
yeah, it's still great, and the big cannabis community that's out there.
it's
They're
always been out there.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
always been
for
out there.
sure.
I learned a lot of stuff out there.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you're back and you're pregnant.
Yeah. So I'm back and I'm pregnant, right? And I have my child. Two and I don't know, maybe 2 years and 10 months into that child's life, and we receive a diagnosis of autism. Um, which, by the way, now that I look back on it, I guess I can see both sides of that coin, and I can understand how uh, why I felt the way I did. I felt devastated. I felt like, oh my God, my child's not going to talk. My child's not going to be any of the things I thought he was going to be. But good news for you all. And studies have shown that early intervention is very important. And that's what we did. We, as soon as we got his diagnosis, we kind of just, dusted ourselves off, did a little, did what we had to do. It's like, if you need to cry, cry. You need to feel broken for a week or whatever you need, do it. But then pick yourself right back up and do what you need to do, not for you anymore, but for your child,
Mm.
right? Because I have an experience of going through school undiagnosed, and it was tough. It was really, really hard, And like I said, it was hard for the educators. It was hard for my parents. Parents don't want to hear how your child's misbehaving. And it was hard for me. So it's hard for everyone all around. But once you decide to start doing for your child, doing for their needs, um, I think I think it works out in the end. You know, it's still a work in progress. You know, my son's just 10. He's still 10, but he's doing really well. I'd like to say. One of our goals was for him to get into general education, which he has this year. He started his fourth grade class. Yeah. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Danny.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So, you know, we um that's where we're at.
That's crazy that you said that. Like, all the feelings that you feel as a parent, and you guys are gonna, I know who is gonna trip out on this. But just recently, I was watching Creed, the boxing movie,
Yeah.
right? And as you were saying that, the first thing that came to my mind was the scene where they had the baby. It was Creed 2. It's Creed 2, and they had a baby, and his partner, she has hearing problems,
Right.
right? And so when they did the test on the baby and they found that baby can't hear, you know, the actor that was playing Creed was feeling bad, and Rocky was like, "You need to stop feeling sorry for your baby because your baby's not feeling sorry for themselves. So pick your shit up, put your shit together, and do what you got to do for your baby."
Correct.
And that's, as you were talking, that scene came to my mind.
Oh.
Yeah,
Why, thank you. That's kind of flattering. Now I have to go back and watch it. But
yeah.
Indira, what did you decide to do for your baby?
what everybody decides to do, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this, and it's so funny because in my head it was just so normal, right? And I think I even I recall having conversations with a lot of people, and again, it might be with me not knowing how to take compliments, or I don't know what it is, but like I remember someone pointed it out, and I was like, well, wouldn't everybody do that? Like, wouldn't everybody just inform themselves and try their best to like? But that's not the case. I mean,
I think we all do it at different levels. Let's say
correct.
Yeah.
that we
Correct.
take different approaches to it. But Indira decided
To go back to school.
The place that you thought early on, like, this is not for me.
This was not
I
for me.
cannot do this.
You got it.
I'm gonna work with my body and not my. Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
I feel like most of us moms like read a few articles and
Yeah.
like
Go on the Facebook,
go on
mom's
Facebook,
group.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
I only know that because you do that all the time.
yes.
You're always telling me, did you know that this mom did this? Yeah.
Oh, mom groups.
Yeah. That's for a whole other episode. But
Yeah.
Indira went back to school, and now where are you? Like, what's the trajectory? Where are we going?
All
Tell
right.
us.
All right. So trajectory. Hopefully, if I'm still feeling it, you know, if it's still shiny and new, I want to get my PhD in developmental psychology, specializing in developmental disorders. Thank you.
And all along the way, we've been like honor roll. We've been straight A's.
Oh.
We
We
like
just got the
it's-
update today.
yes,
Straight A's.
straight A's this last semester.
My first semester, yeah, my first
And
semester.
and how much of maybe your use of cannabis helped you along this journey, this new journey of
Yeah.
going back to school?
So this time around, I'm not. I want to clear that up. I'm not using cannabis the way that I did in the past because I'm aware now, right? I'm aware of what my strengths and my weaknesses are, and why those are my weaknesses and why those are my strengths, and how to handle those moments of weakness that are due to my ADHD, right? So now I do low dosing, and it's because I'm still human, and even though I uh, do take medication for ADHD, and even though I have been doing, like behavioral adaptations or modifications, right? I'm learning how to use a calendar and how to use it appropriately to keep my appointments and remind me of these things, right? Um, so now I just kind of do it to kind of take the edge off because, being a mom,
Mm,
It's yes. Mm.
mm.
It's a lot of work. So being a mom to someone. So I have two children. One is 10, and he's the one who's neurodivergent. And then I have my daughter who's possibly neurodivergent, like her mama. Because there's a lot of similarities in like my old childhood behavior and hers. Extremely precocious, very curious. Why this? Why that? And how? And why? And who? And how come? Those are all the type of
And
questions.
that sounds like that sounds like characteristics of any child.
Hmm.
So what would make, like, can any parent take a test just to check, or do you have to meet certain criterias to get those tests from a school or wherever you would go to see about any diagnosis?
That's a great question. So I think that as a parent, you always have to be your child's advocate, right? And you're the expert. As a parent, you're the expert in your child. And I know that you're smiling because that's something that we've always talked about because we have similar backgrounds in early childhood, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I
mhm, go ahead.
totally advocate that to any parent that I'm either like having an assessment with or like just doing like just like casual talk with. You are the professional when it comes to your child. Do not put, X, Y, and Z on the educator or the doctor or, whoever. They're seeing this child and assessing this specific situation, this specific time. But you spend most of their waking hours with them, and you need to come to the table with all that information. And it's your responsibility to share that so that they can have a well-rounded assessment of the child and you can
Absolutely.
best serve your
Absolutely.
child.
Absolutely. And I just thought of this as you were talking about, but it's like think of yourself, your child, and your pediatrician as a team. You know, you're still the team manager or the team coach.
You have the final say in like
Correct.
what goes
Correct.
on.
Exactly. Exactly. Um, Bring all those issues up if you have any concerns. One thing I would also say is on at least for me, what helped me, is like one of the books I read is What to Expect When You're Expecting, and then I think there's other, but there's better books, or there's sorry for that, but not better books, but there's different sources out there, just various resources where you can learn about child development, and they'll usually list child typical development, which is what we expect, right?
Right.
But if you
Yeah.
start seeing that your child maybe is so think of like this is the path for typical development.
They normally
But
have like that like roadblock of development, because I know that when I was working at the Head Starts too,
Mhm.
we would like print out different sheets for the different age groups of the child, and it had like a roadmap. It was a roadmap, the child development roadmap of different milestones.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct. And if you see that your child is slightly stepping outside of that roadmap or whatever it
whatever
is
the
that you're
yeah.
looking at, yeah, bring it up. It doesn't hurt. And that's one of the advice, well, some of the advice that I was given when my son was diagnosed, because one of the things that you go through is denial. I went pointing to my son and to anybody who I was involved in child development or social services. Yeah, he doesn't have autism, right? Like he doesn't have autism, right? Like
Nah,
I
not
just
my kid.
nah, and I
He
just
only
want
does
to
that sometimes. Or they only do that
Oh yeah.
when they're here or there and it's like, well,
yeah.
that's a high stress situation and that's definitely going to drive someone to act differently.
In their
But
behavior,
right.
and those are all soothing behaviors, right? It's what makes them feel better. And so yeah, so I forgot.
So
Help me.
when you when your child isn't hitting the
Yeah, yeah.
milestones, then
So you wanna ask your pediatrician or even their teacher if they're already like, because you're right, the younger they are, the harder it is to diagnose, especially with certain diagnoses, because it's part of the development.
Right.
Like what do you mean your child isn't jumping off the walls and they're only 4? Bring them in, we'll see what's going on. But if they're 6, 7, 8, and you start seeing these things, in my opinion, it wouldn't be a bad idea to ask. And it's
Yeah.
because here's the thing, it becomes a problem when it starts interfering into your ability to go on with your daily life. That's
Say that
one of
again.
the criterias
Say that
is
again.
that it is, aside from hitting all the symptoms or diagnosis symptoms, one of the criterias is it gets in the way of you carrying on with your life. Does it intervene with you achieving your goals, achieving your daily goals, your life goals, your career goals, your education goals? Is it intervening? Is it keeping you from doing that? And that's when it becomes a problem. That's when I
Take
think it
action.
becomes a diagnosis. Yeah.
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 Another issue with not having intervention is we get into a dysfunctional relationship with those behaviors where we say, when my child does X, I'll yell at them, I hit them, I whatever, and that behavior goes away, right? And that's short term, right? That's
Yep.
not really addressing the issue. So
Patch
then,
job.
right. So then cut to like 2 years, 3 years later, when you do get the diagnosis and you do get the support and you do get the tools to help your child manage their emotions or whatever behavior, whatever's happening, you've already conditioned this child to know that, oh, I'm just going to do whatever I do, and then you're going to hit me, and then or you're going to send me out the room.
It's normalized. It
Right.
then becomes a normalized behavior / routine.
So you have to like undo what you've done, and then it becomes a bigger thing. But
Yeah.
let's cut to our pop quiz. So let's get to know you a little better.
Ooh, pop quiz.
All right. You ready for a few questions?
Sure.
If you had to do away with one word in the English dictionary, what would that word be?
Hate.
Oh.
Why?
Why? I think it's utilized way too loosely. And it's such a strong word if you really think about it. I mean, it takes the same amount of energy to hate something than to love something, right? Like I feel like loving someone and nurturing and caring it takes so much of energy, but so does hate. Like hating something. And so I think I would like I think I've told my kids like, let's just say we don't like something or we don't like someone, because it's okay not to like some people sometimes. But yeah, I think hate would definitely be one of them, one of the words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to go back in time, what age would Indira go back to?
Ooh,
What age would she be?
that one's tough. Huh.
Would you go back to dancing Indira? Would you
I
go
did
back
like the
to
dancing in that.
cooking Indira? Which one?
How about let's just say I'll go back to dancing Indira.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go back to dancing Indira. That was a great part of my life.
Would you rather lose an arm or a leg?
Ooh, good question. Um, oh, arm, leg. Let me visualize. Probably
Final answer.
an arm.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, too many options.
Would you rather be really cold or really hot?
Really cold, hands down. You can layer. Give me a sweatshirt. Give me a blanket. Give me another one. Give me another one. But when you're hot, what you gonna do?
Take it off.
Really?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All
I'm okay
right.
with taking off my clothes.
In your home. But what about out and
They gonna have to deal with my rolls.
over here on the podcast? It's Daddy
Mhm.
coming live to you.
I cannot believe you just did that dance here.
Viewers get a special look, a special show. You don't have to.
That
you don't
says
have
come to
to.
Papa.
you're gonna have to come for
I,
those listeners.
aquí
You're
viene
gonna have to come and check out the
Oh
54th minute
Lord.
of the YouTube video
tu
so you can
papacito
see
Danny.
this.
I hope this camera
Uh,
glitches.
uh, 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 uh.
Hey, ooh,
Would you rather have a new moon or a full moon?
full moon,
Mm,
full moon,
spicy or sour?
spicy. Sour gets me
Oh, I
right.
hate
Yeah, I
that
don't like it.
sometimes. Yeah.
What's your love language?
My love language is what is it?
Acts of service.
Acts of service. Thank you. Psychologist or I was like, oh, it's just I don't know the love languages.
What's your favorite time to get high? Day or night?
Oh, depends.
Mm.
It depends. Depends what I want to do, what I'm gonna do.
Are you a wake and baker sometimes?
I was definitely a weekend baker. Um, but if like, yeah, I think it just depends on my mood. It I'll I'll tell you this much though. I don't do any of the indica stuff. If
During the
I'm
day or just ever?
just in general, I think
Okay.
it just my body's just really sensitive probably to it, and so it just like if you want to put me to sleep right away, then yeah. But if you still want me to hang out and you know, uh, sativa's the way.
Okay.
If you still want to converse with me,
All right. You're a Canna mom,
I am a
obviously,
Canama.
through and
Mhm.
through, right?
Yep.
Post legalization, post, we're taking a few steps. How do you feel about using cannabis, let's say, to treat children or
Great question.
address issues
It's a great
as a young
question.
child?
If I'm not mistaken, there's still not a lot of research out there,
Mhm.
which is it's needed. Um, and I like research. I like researching stuff. That's what I do. That's what I want to do. Um, and so it's important for me to have research. However, it has to be unbiased, which is another. That can be a whole show in itself. But yeah, I wouldn't. I'm open to it. I'm open to it. So long as there's, like I said, research.
Okay.
Yeah,
Would you
yeah,
be open to putting your children in those studies?
yeah, yeah. Again, I'm not speaking for everybody.
No, no.
And
This
and
is
I
a
hope, yeah, no, 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 and I know that you know that, but it's just something that I want to clear up. And everybody does what best suits them. Everybody does what
Yeah.
what what
Mm.
what feels right for them, right? I've never had an issue with cannabis. Um, I don't believe there's an issue with cannabis.
Have you ever had a bad high?
Once, once. But think of once in how
Yeah.
many years
Like,
and how
I've
many
gotten high.
statistically speaking, no.
That was an outlier. Like that one we can throw out.
Yeah. And I think it was just my state of mind at that time. I was under a lot of stress and stress that I had never dealt with before. It was completely new to me. And it was scary. And somebody suggested, hey, maybe, have a little bit of cannabis so it can calm you down. And it did the opposite. It got me really in my head and I started thinking more about what was stressing me out.
Mm.
Yeah. So, and it was one of the reasons why I slowed down with it. But again, it's all body chemistry and strain, right?
Mhm.
Everybody reacts to it
Yeah.
differently.
And I like that you said that because I know we've had a guest in the past um who spoke to that she also self-medicated herself but also her children, and she took a lot of a holistic approach to curing for her children. Do you remember that?
Yes, and I loved. I don't think I'd ever heard it in that way,
Mhm.
where she gave an example where one,
Shout out to it was Tiffany Watkins from Vanguard Media, so shout out to
yes,
you.
um she said that she was, she was open and honest about saying that she was doing it under wraps, right? Like obviously you couldn't share this with anyone about
Correct.
what you're doing in your household
Correct.
because you're scared of the repercussions. But she said that when, like, when her daughter had like menstrual pain, she would create an herbal tea, and it was like with a lot of
Multiple herbs,
chamomile and a
right?
lot of other herbs and natural remedies that would help her daughter and ease her body. And I was just like, it doesn't feel like, I'm holding
A ball
a
next to my
ball up to my
child. Yeah.
child's
Because we're
mouth, because
not.
that's not
Because
the intention
that's
at
not the
all,
point. That's
right?
not the point. Remember, we're when we use this, we're using it with different reasons. And I said that,
Right.
earlier, I was self-medicating because I didn't know what was going on with me. I just knew that that felt right at
Right.
that time. It made
Right.
me feel better than what I was feeling at. And you know, I again, it does have to be done under wraps, and it does have to be because of y'all know why. But yeah, shout out to her, and you do have to do things under wraps, and but again, she was doing what she thought was best for her daughter, to
Right.
help her
Yeah.
daughter.
Right. So thank you for that.
Hmm. Of course,
Um,
thank you.
Goals for 2022.
Goals for
I know we touched on it
2022.
early on, but now we're finally there.
now we're addressing
Yes.
it. All right.
All right, goals for 2022. Organizing, learning to organize myself better.
Oh, I was like community organizing,
No,
like
no, 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 no,
organizing our
no.
drawers, like
No.
what?
Well,
What?
That too.
that would probably be a good step to take. But no, I think it's just like Daddy and I are always talking about how we always have these ideas, and we're always coming up with these ideas, and I think I shared with you guys too how lately I've been going on tangents. Like I feel like my tangents some of my symptoms have just kind of like bloomed, blossomed extremely over these last probably couple months. Yeah. And so I've been going on tangents, such as the one I'm on right now. But yeah,
Exhibit
yeah,
A.
yeah. But no, I want to organize myself and do better time management because we have projects that we'd like to take care of as well, and do more than what we're doing, because that's just how I roll.
What you said projects.
Yeah.
What projects are we talking about here?
All right. So I don't know. Sometimes I have a hard time doing this, but I kind of want. So here's the thing. Um, Julia and I, we're cousins. That's how we know each other, and we have a background in childhood, early childhood development, and we have a lot of experience in it. We have experience with special needs and abilities, and so we kind of want to get started on our own podcast that would help um, parents, or moms. It's kind of, I think we'd mostly be aiming this, and please feel free to join and then tell me and then share. But kind of helping out first generation Latinx moms to give them ideas on how we've maybe supported and parented our children, and perhaps it'll help other
Right.
parents as well.
For me, it was, no one got the manual when it comes to being a parent, right? But we definitely take a lot of our ideas and a lot of how we mold our parenting style from our parents, right? Or from our families. Um, and as first generation Central American Salvadoran women, um, who have had the opportunity to educate ourselves in this field, we're seeing that a lot of the approaches that or a lot of the parenting that was given to us stemmed from the way our parents were parented, right? And what worked in another country, and what worked in another time, and what worked in another capacity um of another level of
Understanding.
stress, another level of pressure and societal issues that were going on. And so, how do we change that, right? We're here, we were raised in this community. And so now we're trying to see things differently, we're trying to do things differently. but sometimes we don't know how to do it, and sometimes we just troubleshoot, right? We just share with each other, like, does
Yep.
this feel right? Does this sound okay? Like, am I letting her get away with me? Is she walking all over, or is he doing that? But it really is just trying to have, like, a gentle parenting approach,
Mhm,
right? Or
mhm.
like building a healthy relationship with our child,
Correct.
as we're walking this path, right? And so sharing, bouncing ideas off each other, and then having our viewership maybe share their ideas with us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can help build a bigger community,
A community soundboard.
right?
Right?
Of folks who are just
Yeah.
kind of supporting each other, and giving ourselves grace and being gentle with ourselves.
Yep.
Not holding ourselves up to that, I don't know, this invisible standard that we built for ourselves or created for ourselves. So just in a nutshell, maybe.
Yeah. 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 So in a nutshell,
Yeah.
You guys heard this, Latin TG and Latinx, Keith, Jackie. We got another podcast coming through, guys. So you might want to
that's
get them into the
definitely-
studio.
Yeah. So that's one of the projects. And then of course the everyday stuff, finish up and apply to more school later on in the fall. But yeah, those are my plans. Those are
What about you, Julia? Do you have any goals for 2022?
Goals for 2022.
Mm-mm.
I put you on the spot, huh?
I don't have this baby.
That's what I was
This baby gonna
thinking.
come 11 weeks, y'all. I
Oh
was
my
just looking
God.
at that last
11
night.
weeks.
11 weeks is like,
Yep.
that's it.
Yep.
It happened. We're here.
Damn, what if I'm in the studio when it happens? What are my listeners gonna say? Hurry up and go! I better see all the comments flashing. Like, what are you still doing in the
What are you
studio?
waiting for?
You better hurry up and get there.
Daddy gonna be like, the traffic in LA.
Yeah, I'm not
I
gonna
just
make
gotta
it.
wait this out.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make it.
Just wait.
I'm
Just
already
wait.
here.
Stay in there. Stay in there for a little bit longer.
I'm already here.
Yeah. About like I feel like there's a lot. I'm feeling overwhelmed. There's a lot of anxiety going on right now. And that's definitely something that goes hand in hand with ADHD, high anxiety levels. So right now I'm trying to take like baby steps, one step at a time. And I think my step right now is I have a baby coming in 11 weeks. Let's do that.
How about you, Danny?
Diapers. We need diapers, guys. If you guys want to,
This guy.
just in case. Just throwing it out there.
Shameless plug,
Just throwing
right?
it out there.
They are expensive, though. I might add.
It's been a while since we bought diapers. Right?
Not that.
6 months.
That's what I'm like. I ain't trying to put you
Yeah.
out, but
No, he just wanted to brag about,
That our
How
baby's
she's
potty
being
trained.
potty
Potty
trained.
trained.
That our
Yeah.
baby's potty trained.
Yeah.
It feels like forever.
You're potty training. Throwing Cheerios in the toilet.
oh
Bright
god,
lights.
Oh, we didn't have to do that.
Well, because your
Yeah.
child doesn't have to aim.
Yeah. Whoa, you'd be surprised. You'd be.
Ooh, can't wait to get into that story. It might be.
my
after.
poor angel. She's a curious cat,
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
so she does this really cool thing where she wants to know what's going on, and then we all see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
Oh, poor baby. Dalia's gonna watch this 20 years from now. She'd be like,
Like, why?
Why?
What?
Why did you bring that
What?
up, Dad? What, like,
sorry, baby. Sorry, Dali.
All right, goals, Dad. Goals.
Goals. We got goals for Ced Connects. Oh, we got a bunch of goals. Let's see. I want to hit 10K followers by this time next year. 10,000 followers on Instagram. We want to get about 5,000 streams throughout the year for the year. What else? Partner with a few different brands and dispensaries. What else? I think that's it for now.
put it out there. Put it out there.
So,
Mhm.
any brands, any dispensaries, if you guys are watching this, you guys like what you're listening to, want to be a part of this, hit me up. I'm already working with a few. We got big things coming up pretty soon. But once you see it, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have caught on that train when he said it
I
on.
should have sent them diapers.
I should have done that.
Y'all sent some diapers.
Those are some of the many goals that just I could think off the top of my head for at least for Ced Connects.
Okay.
I know they're
Sounds
big ass
good.
goals too.
Hey,
It's a crazy goal, especially the 10K follower one.
you know what they say about crazy goals?
Just got to do it.
Yep.
Cool.
If they're not crazy enough, you're not dreaming big enough.
Oh, then let me reevaluate my goal. Who is over here like?
While I have my cousin over there, why is she egging him on to dream bigger? He needs grounding, grounding. Well, I'm over here like, float,
Yes.
just fly.
Go.
Let me be the wind in your parachute.
I love it. For our listeners, you guys should watch this video. You see Hule just
Grimacing.
you're right there.
I'm
Side eye.
fine. I'm fine.
All right, we're gonna close this out. You have any last thoughts?
Last thoughts.
Like India's last thought, like Jerry Springer. Remember
Like Jerry
those?
Springer?
What was his
Oh,
final word or something like
yeah,
that?
I remember that. He did have the final. Um, don't knock it till you try it.
Mm.
I like that. Don't
And-
knock it till you try.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it.
Well,
All right.
thank you for being with us today, Mira.
Thank
it
you for
was
having
a
me.
pleasure.
Likewise.
It was fun.
Yeah.
How'd you like it? How'd you like the studio? Nice?
I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I can get used to this.
Thanks. I'm just trying to get you guys
I think
comfortable.
your ADHD, like
It's
like you're
coming in.
vibing it.
Uh.
Let's close out.
All right, guys. We record live every Monday at 4:20 Pacific Standard Time here at the TGN Latinx station. You can listen live through the Good News Radio app, or you can stream YouTube through the TGN Latinx channel or the Ced Connects channel. Make sure to follow us at Ced Connects on Instagram. That's CED_connects. We got that giveaway again with originals. So make sure to follow us on Instagram, post that message so you can be in the running to win the originals grinder, and you could also win the originals rolling tray. Episodes.
will
Oh, go ahead.
Episodes will stream on Spotify and Apple every Wednesday. Shout out to our social equity sponsors, Seventh Wave, 4Gs, Joyous 420, Fuego 415, and The Fizz and Bianca Star Agency.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys coming in every Monday or whatever day you guys are listening to us. Whether it's morning, day, night, don't matter. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. Again, Indira, thank you for stopping by. We really appreciate you coming
Thank
through.
you. Thank you for having me.
And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's right. Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year, folks. We'll see you
completely missed
next
that.
year.
Happy New Year. We
Next
need to
year,
get
we got a big episode too next week for the New Year. So again, we'll be announcing the winners for originals, and we'll see you guys, as Julia mentioned, next year. Happy New Year's, guys.
Bye. Hold
Bye.
on.
Oh, you want to come say hi, studio manager? Got our studio manager in the house here.
Where's Grandma?
Oh, she didn't show up today. Ooh. All right.